Hi there, and welcome to Plugin Guru's Power Review for Stylus RMX. This is part 4. We're going to be taking a look at the Power Pack for Stylus RMX that I've created, that you can get both the demo version or buy the full version at pluginguru.com. $30 for the Power Pack. And then I'm going to also show you a little bit about the drum loop library. I've created Beatropolis Volume 1 and Volume 2. You can get both volumes for $50. And it's a whole bunch of new drum loops for Stylus RMX. I'm going to show you how to get those into RMX. So basically, we're going to show both how to get things in and where they show up in RMX, and then show you some tricks on each of the different modes that I support, because we all need more tricks, right? So let's not delay anymore. Let's get right to it. All right, let's take a look at the Finder. Let's go over here. And you'll see over here is the Plugin Guru Power Pack. Now, if you have the demo version of the Power Pack, it's laid out the same way. It's just fewer presets, 10% or something like that of the whole library. If you open this up, as you can see, you have 4 different folders. And some of these have folders within folders. And I'm going to show you where they go. So you would find your Sage folder, and I keep my Sage folder on my main computer hard drive in a sample library folder. And then there is a folder called Sage, which every RMX must have Sage. So do a search for all large caps Sage, and you'll find it. And inside of there, you will find these 4 folders. And if you open up the Stylus RMX one, you will see you have patches and presets. And these are the 2 areas where things go. So you take the multis, and you can just drag the whole folder of multis into the multis folder. And that way the factory multis will show up. And then you have the Plugin Guru multis. I took all the expander libraries and put them into one separate folder called expander libraries. You can set it up however you want. So then you go to parts, and parts, there's 100 parts. And it actually works easier if you just select all of these and click and drag them up to the parts folder, because there's no other parts in this folder unless you've made some, which is highly unlikely since most people don't even really get the concept of parts. But we're going to talk about that in a minute, because you should be using parts. So they go in there. Kits, you can just take this folder and put it into the kits folder, and that we have factory kits, Plugin Guru kits, and user kits. And that way they show up pretty easily. And then Time Designer templates go in a different place. They go in presets. There's a folder in there called Time Designer. And inside of here is where you'll see where I've put the straight and the swinging Time Designer template folders. So you just drag these and put them up there, and there you go. Now, once you've done that, when you go back to RMX, and let's hide everybody. I need my notes up. You go over here to, say we want to go to multis. So you go to the mixer. There you go. You got the factory multis. Then you have the Plugin Guru multis, and I've got them grouped into organizational little folders. User multis and expander multis. If you change this to kits, and you click up here, you'll now have the factory kits, and then you have Plugin Guru kits. And there's all the kits that come with the full version of the Power Pack. When you go to Time Designer templates, they don't show up. There's 2 places where things show up in Time Designer templates. Down here are kind of like built-in for the machine template, Logic, Groove, Feel. Feel is kind of like, these are based on MIDI files. So it's kind of what I'm doing. So you can go through these and play with them. Some of them are really useful. Up here, there's a little triangle to the right of Time Designer. And if you click here, there's example Time Designer templates. I have one called New Project, and I'll show you about that in a minute. And then here's all the straight groove, and then here's all the swinging groove Time Designer templates. So that's what you get when you are working with the Plugin Guru Power Pack. Now, with Beatropolis, it's a little bit different. Hide that. This is something that's going to eventually end up in the Sage libraries, in the user libraries, right here in Skippy's Beatropolis, right here. But you don't put it in there yourself. What you do is you use the Sage converter. And with this, you can convert any Recycle RX2 library into a usable library for Stylus RMX to use. If you just do a Google search for RX2 Recycle drum loops or Recycle loops, you'll find free ones as well as a whole bunch of libraries that people sell. Anyway, all you do is you take the folder after you've unzipped it, and inside of here are all the recycle files, right? Just take the whole entire folder and you drag that. Let me get back here to Sage. You drag this right here and you let go, and it will start to automatically convert it. And you're done. Basically, that's all you have to do is wait while it converts it. Now when you go over to Mixer, be in multi-mode. When you go over here to selecting patches, and instead of the core library, you go to user libraries. And here's where you click right here under user libraries, and right here's where all the libraries work up. So here's Beatropolis. So you can choose, and off you go, you know. There it is. And we'll show you tricks on recycle stuff in a minute. But first, let's show you some stuff with multis. All right, so here we go. All right, so we're going to take a look at multis and give you a couple of tricks and tips for using not only the Plugin Guru multis, but of course, any multi. So if we go to the Plugin Guru multis, you see there's ambient, breakbeat. Let's go to club, like simple techno. The first thing to know is that Host Sync is a new feature that simplifies using these multis or using anything in RMX. As soon as you hit Host Sync, when you hit play in your sequencer, it starts to play. And it'll play at whatever your tempo is. So if I say 135, there you go. So it used to be you had to go over here and you had to drag MIDI files into wherever your arrange page was for each part before you could ever even play a multi, besides just auditioning it inside of RMX. But now you can go to any multi. You can go to choose to any one. I just hit a button. So now if I don't have Host Sync on, it's not going to play when I hit play in Logic. It's going to be like, yeah, right, you know. But if I hit Host Sync, off you go. So that's one of the coolest new additions to RMX is Host Sync. So get used to that button. Now, one thing I should say is if you're doing a song and you want it to be really, really a tight feeling song, you might at the end want to drag the MIDI files into your arrange page. It plays in a different way. I don't think it's like off, but it feels different. And I think it's a little bit tighter feel if the MIDI file data is actually inside of the arrange page or in your sequencer playing instead of playing by Host Sync. But to quickly audition the loops and quickly audition the multis, this is awesome. The one other part I wanted to talk about real quickly is this one's not bad, but if you go to some of these, especially with some of the expander packs that we created, but I'm guilty of doing it in these too. Sometimes you'll add extra parts. When we're making the multis, we want it to be really big and huge and impressive and all that. So some of these will have a lot of stuff. There's pitch in there. What if that's not the pitch of your song? I'm going to show you that real quick. So these two are the pitch elements. First, you could just mute those, and you got a cool groove. I'll slow it down. All right, well, that's it. My goodness. I'm working on patches for Omnisphere. I'm working on patches for Ace. Go to acesynth.com. I did a whole bunch of patches. That's one thing that I did that I didn't finish these power reviews because I was making patches for that among other things. I'm also working on patches for Massive, which are coming out really, really cool. So stay tuned. More to come. See you later. Bye.